Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Saturday. Today is March 17th? 16th. 16th, for sure. 16th. Tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day on Sunday. Happy St. Patty's Day for all that celebrate or just participate, all the same. I'm sure people will be out and about celebrating tonight since it's on a Sunday this year. I think that's due to the leap year because usually I'm pretty sure it's on Saturday. So I'm sure people will definitely, have their fill tonight and perhaps into tomorrow. But if you are particularly green-blooded and having a good time tonight, just be safe, be secure, be sound, watch your drinks, don't sit them down, bars. Seriously, don't sit your drinks down. And don't accept any drinks from strangers without having seen them made or poured or popped or whatever, opened, whatever the case may be, from the bar itself. I feel like I'm a mom right now. I mean, I'm literally not going anywhere or having any drinks because I'm just not interested. However, I am very much so invested in the well-being of anyone under the sound of my voice. So please be safe out there. All right. And without further ado, let's see. Okay, so I tell you no lies. All right, that's the Ace of Swords. Definitely some truth. Let me make sure we're recording. Yes. I just felt like I needed to double check that today. Nothing worse than when you get through an entire message and realize that you captured none of it, and it has happened. Ace of Swords, this is how we're starting. Truth, clarity, vision, insight, maybe even foresight, clairvoyance, I like to add to that, being able to see beyond the veil, to be able to even see, as in the case with foresight, being able to kind of see something before it occurs, or I would say sense something, but it's more so the vision and the intel. But you know what? Sometimes with clairvoyance, the vision comes through the senses, obviously, because you don't always, unless you're like that soul raven, which some people are, where you actually see the pictorial vision play out in your mind's eye, or hell, right in front of you, for some. But it's more of a sensation that projects a vision or just some information or a message. There it is, like an actual message. So I think that's very fitting, particularly how I just started this message about being mindful of where you are, who you're partying with, if you're partying, what you're drinking, where'd it come from, how much you're drinking, be very cognizant of your environment and stay connected to those social, intuitive and intellectual cues, perhaps to know when you've had your fill or enough is enough, or just to know when it might be time to go. I know sometimes people do some bar hopping and stuff on St. Patty's Day. So, maybe it might be time to hop on to the next or hop your ass home. I don't know. But there's some clarity and truth that is either being revealed, uncovered, exposed, shared, or impressed upon you at this time that may or may not be related to what I said about the celebration of St. Patrick's Day, but certainly some alert to keep your eyes peeled I'll say, to say the least. And keep your antennas, what do you call it? Your antennas stoked, poked. I don't know what the term would be. Some of you, I don't know. I highly doubt I have anybody listening that wouldn't know what an antenna is, but certainly some generations that are, you know, I know my son, he has no idea what an antenna is really in the terms of television and radio and things like that. So your antenna, if you are one of those, is that apparatus that conducts the signal of transmission from satellite sources or forces in a very literal sense, from satellites such as that emit radio waves, or I don't know what TV say. I'm even a little bit too young to know exactly how the TV thing works, but whatever the waves are, that's how the emission is transmitted through the conduit, which would be the radio or the television, to project a picture or sound. Now, I know I'm saying that very patronizing, in a very patronizing tone, or even a very what do you call it, demeaning. I'm not trying to be. I'm being a little bit funny, but clearly there's something in that regard that matters in this moment, about keeping your antennas clear and open to transmissions that may matter a great deal at this time, particularly because this is the Ace of Swords and it's coming from a far out space, maybe even ethereal, cosmically, energetically, supreme self to you, you know, direct downloads, all of that. Yeah, I'll let it go. Maybe there's more to explore about what's to be expressed. Maybe this is a transmission in itself that we get to. And that came out a little bit sideways. I don't feel completely compelled to take it as that. I would definitely want to say reversed, but here we have the Eight of Pentacles. 8 new beginnings. Yeah, maybe a transmission or some new intel about work to allow you to work smarter and not so hard, or maybe a breakthrough or some type of revelation regarding your life's work. A revolutionary direction to take that work that may lighten the load, as if it's not already light enough, because the Eight of Pentacles generally is work that you find gratifying and satisfying because it's some connection to your purpose. So it could be maybe a point in the right direction toward that reality if you're not already there or looking in that or focused in that regard. Maybe searching for purpose, or maybe just need an affirmation that you are working in purpose. I would say that more than anything, because the Ace of Swords is pretty affirming, and the Eight of Pentacles means that you're already actively doing something or invested in something, or that there's something that you do, maybe even something that's on the sidelines or that you don't revere as highly as perhaps you could, to be something that could be forwarding and quite rewarding. Maybe it's just your pastime or your hobby that satisfies you, but the light bulb never quite clicked to say, you know what, I could perhaps do this full time. Or you haven't felt affirmed to focus on a full-time expression of that recreation of sorts, for all the reasons that we already know why one wouldn't, particularly with regards to security and stability. But this is the 8 of Pentacles out of the 10, which is the max. So whatever it is, it either is highly productive and prosperous, or has the potential. It already is productive, because if nothing else, it at least heightens your frequency in doing the things that bring you satisfaction, which is force fuel as is. But if it's a matter of a question mark of prosperity, I feel like this is a confirmation of such, and it's an encouragement to continue to cultivate it, so that it can only be more prosperous if it hasn't shown itself to be so just yet. It could just be a matter of like the flip of the switch mentally, to knowing like, oh, this isn't just like a pastime or a hobby or just something I do. This is something of value, something that is valuable, perhaps even beyond me, really just take an inventory of how it infuses you productively, and also maybe even the demand or the potential of the demand that there may be for you to fill that void for others, or within a market quite productively. So whatever it is, you don't mind working hard at it, and that's definitely a great space to be in. Yeah, look at this Chariot card. How about it? That's some major success, inevitable. As a matter of fact, at this point, once the Chariot is here, that means you've already surmounted great feats. Perhaps your mental perspective was the greatest feat of all, or will be, to see it as more than just what it is, to maybe eliminate that word of just, so that it's something that holds a greater space and value, that kind of solidifies it as, I want to say a necessity, a commodity. Yeah, that's good with the 8 of Pentacles, because the 8 of Pentacles can almost be like factory, like a manufacturing or a factory line. You see how the Pentacles, like he's just pumping them out, you know what I mean? So that's a good word in that regard. Like what you have to offer is a hot commodity. You yourself, obviously, being the manufacturer, are a hot commodity. And we got the Chariot card, definitely moving forward. That's also what, Cancer? Yeah, I think that's Cancer energy. Oh, okay, and that's the home. That's your nurturing. Again, it could be, I spoke about this the other day, about the home business, or it's doing something that's more close to home for you, that's more innate to like what even nurtures your spirit to do, which makes sense with the 8 of Pentacles. Cancer, particularly for me, is my North Node, and I feel like that's only significant to say because 9 times out of 10, if not 10 out of 10, your North Node is where you'll find the most satisfaction for your energetic investments, whether it be your time, your money, your attention, your focus, yourself, all around. You're at home in that North Node frequency of what this particular life is calling you to, and it's a a different experience than what you may have already been committed to up until now, or even like kind of hacking away at. Like for me, for instance, Capricorn is the opposite of that. That would be the South Node for me, my destiny meaning, not yours, but mine. And you know, this lifetime particularly, I'm being called to cultivate more of a spirited home life, and to operate more in the capacity of my mothering and nurturing qualities, my nesting abilities to create stability at home, whether that be professionally or spiritually, familially, like to really make sure that matters of my home are secure and sound, and to build from that, as opposed to Capricorn, which you more so build from the outside in with, you know, money and establishments, professionally out, you know, businesses, accolades and achievements, very external expressions of success, much more external than internal, which would be Cancer, and less emotional as well, where Capricorn is more tangible, physical, because it's the earth sign, right? So just giving just a, you know, personal reflection, and you may be a Cancer North Node too. Or perhaps you're a Capricorn North Node and it's the opposite for you, where you're called to build build like your power dynamic from the outside in. And that's going to be more satisfying for you, and also spiritually fulfilling as well. That means that working outside of the home, particularly maybe in a corporation, or building a big dynasty, or just adding value to one from a high level, though, because Capricorn definitely achieves by way of titles and power positions of power and things like that, even education, certificates, you know, anything that you can actually can be a tangible expression of success is what a Capricorn would ideally love. For the opposite, in the Cancer energy, it would be more so about building a legacy that is sound and sacred. You know, that my children are well, they're happy, they're well-rounded, they're spirited and educated. They, you know, have a grounded self-esteem. You know, I'm cultivating an environment where they have the self-security within themselves to know that they can pursue however their destiny guides them to. Like the foundation is more of the point of success for me in this lifetime. So, you know, and it doesn't mean now that you still can't achieve and you still can't prosper and be productive, because I certainly, that's all taken care of too. You know, I'll save you the highlights on that for another day, but certainly I will say, spoiler alert, it definitely comes from still the home base, you know, for me. So I guess this may just be, you know, to as clearly as I can communicate that with you, because I know, most importantly, I know my chart, and I also just know, based on my life experiences this time around, where my path is guiding me. I don't, of course, know the final destination or whatever that even gets to be, but I know what I'm on track for. So I think that's more of the point, to be able to be very clear and to have the truth of what this, you know, what this dynamic looks like. What is the life's work that would bring you the ultimate and perhaps even unlimited forward motion to make you feel victorious in your achievements. It's not by the way of what society has kind of cookie cuttered for you as a certain type of person, whatever box that checks, to be is something far more unique and specific and dynamic, as a matter of fact, than that. So it's important for you to be able to assert that just as clearly as I'm able to articulate it, you know, assuming that it was clear to you. All right, so let's see. Because that's just where the true fulfillment lies, you know. Everything else, yeah, like here's a new beginning. And being able to take that leap of faith once you get the intel, as soon as you, and again, back to those antennas, being open to those signals from Supreme Source and Supreme Self that are pointing you in the right direction by way even of the cues, signs, and signals of what you're already engaged with. You know, it's a matter of, if we want to talk about it in terms of sensation, what does fuel you to feel fulfilled, to feel happy, to feel at peace, to feel appreciated, valued, to feel esteemed? You know, that is really that simple. You know, we make it harder than it actually is, and society helps us along in that cause. You know, but really and truly, it's as plain and simple as those checkpoints. You know, like what could you get lost in if you had the opportunity, or when you have the opportunity to do it, or every time you do it? What sensations does it bring? And what are you willing to take a chance on in faith? Betting on yourself within that expression, for sure. And also trusting the universe to kind of catch you wherever your feet land, more or less. It's kind of like a contract, you know. It's like the universe is more or less contractually bound to catch your steps where you land when you're walking in faith and in fortitude of what you know to be true for yourself. Now, it's different when you just out here just doing anything and not listening to the signs and signals internally, externally, you know, or anything in between. And yet everything is pointing to you like, nah, this ain't it. You know, even your own, it's like you want to make something fit, that you want to like force that, you know, that, what they say, the square into the circle peg. The universe doesn't have any responsibility to that. It's like you're on your own type of thing. Like we'll be here, we got you, but we don't have to support your, you know, your stubbornness to make something fit that even your own sense and sensibility is resistant to. But when you moving in the power of your destiny, you know, when you're doing what feels right, what feels righteous, sometimes what feels natural, most times what feels natural, in your deepest senses, in your soul and in your spirit. I'm not saying what the world or even what your surroundings may try to push against or object to, because sometimes that can occur as well. But when you have that deep sense of knowing, those antennas are clear and you know, like, oh no, this is it. And then everything about you is sensationalized when you're activated in that expression. It's like the universe has to meet you where you are. It just has to. It wouldn't even be, you know, it would be an unworthy investment, or would be a missed investment or opportunity for it not to. Because in that frequency is how the co-creativity can really push an agenda forward and be that sign and signal, you being, you know, it being the sign and signal of a living example of what it looks like when you're answering to that North Node or to that destiny's call. That sometimes can get muddled down, back to the antenna energy. It can be static on the line, societally and surroundingly, and even, you know, universally as well to some degree, where you're getting all types of signals, and then up in close surroundings where you can be distracted this way or another between what everyone else is doing, and sometimes the signals get crossed as to what you should be doing. So the one that actually is able to tune into that supreme frequency and respond accordingly, oh yeah, it's always going to be it's always going to be support for that energy. This is that fearlessness that you get to walk out on, because you know that if you step out, even if you were to step out off of this cliff, there would be something there to catch you before you fall. It's like I don't know, like not workman's comp, but like some type of security. Or what do we pay into? Is it unemployment insurance or something? Let me not go there. That's a whole nother situation. But it's some type of like insurance that you can count on. Yeah, and that's the King of Wands. Oh, I'm sorry, the King of Swords, which actually came up in the, it flipped over, but it started here, if I remember correctly. So I think I'm gonna take it upright in this case, but it landed upside down. And I'm gonna take it upright for now, particularly when we're talking about work and being an expertise in your field, knowing what you have to offer, knowing that you're the only one that, you know, has the information and the vision. This is actually that, and I love it how it is in alignment with the Ace of Swords here, which is a projection of having your signals in alignment and clear to conduct that supreme intel, and then express it effectively, efficiently, to really be a conduit of that vision in a very practical and actual way with the King of Swords, and to do so with what's the right word, like to be highly respected in that transmission. This is the transmission of supreme intel here with the King of Swords. It's like that ingenious idea that you have to either do, you know, to revolutionize a market by your own invention or by your own impressions on you know, whatever that market may be, the product that you bring to it, the way that you go about business, and how you market it, the timing and the distribution. What can I say? Like because you know, it's one thing to have a great product, but to have all things online and on one accord. Like your marketing is tight, you're making it available to the right customer, your customer base is clear, it's perfect timing for it, the price point is right, you have scaled your supply to meet the demand perfectly, so there's not too much of a surplus, but there's enough to meet the market, to satisfy the market. You know, profit margins are amazing. Like everything is working for you, and this could be. It doesn't have to be so actual and practical as a product. Like I said, it could be an idea, a way of thinking, a vision, a mentality. You know, some intellectual expression, you know, maybe even prophetic expression. Now that I'm really getting into this, especially coming from the Ace of Swords, it could be that far out and that deep at the same time, and not being afraid to kind of run with it and just, you know, and quite eloquently, not just a matter of just blabbing off at the mouth, because the King of Swords knows how they know how to put their words together, and they know the audience that they're speaking to. They know how to cater their message to particular crowds as well, like call it a finesse or whatever you will, but in the highest vibration, that's definitely that's high, that's high level talent, and it's highly respected and revered. It is the expression of being a visionary, which would make you what? The hot commodity. You having a way of seeing things that nobody else does. That's just as valuable and perhaps even invaluable as it is to have an actual product on the market. Sorry, my nose is a little runny. To have a product on the market that everybody needs and wants. Perhaps this is the expression of having a way of seeing things that nobody's ever seen before. Maybe they didn't even know they needed a fresh perspective or a new perspective, but it turns out that maybe they did. And it's something forwarding on a massive scale. Yeah, could be that. And I say massive scale because back to the Eight of Pentacles, something that can be manufactured, that, it's like somebody that has like, this is kind of primitive, but that has like the great quotes, you know what I mean? That things that maybe a philosopher of sorts, that has these great philosophies or perspectives, and they turn into quotes that are, to the point where sometimes you don't even know things that we say, you don't even know where they came from, but they invoke a certain mindset or inspire a certain energy at just the right time for just the right reason, whatever that gets to be. Like this may be somebody that's full of those, that's full of vision and inspiration that is forwarding for others, even just beyond, that helped forward them a certain way because of how they visualize their, their capacity to be, to just live, and then also becomes a source of inspiration otherwise. Like think of like what's his name? Tony, the guy. He didn't start off just being inspiring. I think he started off a really successful businessman, and then his philosophies about business kind of spun off into philosophies about life, and now people, flock from all over the world to just hear him speak, and hear his testimonies and his his encouragements as to how you can ascend to some level of, success and affluence for yourself and doing whatever it is you do. Like it's translatable, regardless of what your field is. It makes sense across the board. That's good. That's interesting to see it that way. Well, somebody's got the power like that. they hold the like the I was gonna say the Philosopher's Stone, but it also then took me to like the Sword in the Stone, which I used to love that movie, where, there's just some type of information or intel that you've unlocked by way of your life experiences and kind of following your own path that probably helps shave the learning curve for others, to help people, give people a little bit more of a support system on their path to the same type of experience and self-expression. That's cool. I like how that came through. Yeah. Hold up. That's way too many. We got the Hierophant, that's business. Justice for anything like for gatekeeping. That's what I'm seeing, the Seven of Swords. That's what came to me immediately. It's like you're breaking the chains on that. Or it's just not something that you subscribe to. Like you don't mind sharing the secrets of your trade or the tricks of your trade. There's really no need to try to hoard information or, like I said, gatekeep or steal to hoard the satisfaction of success from others when you may actually have the key. A key, mind you, doesn't mean it's the key, but it's a key. And so why keep that to yourself, when you could actually help someone, bring some balance and harmony to someone else's path and journey. That's not what you want. Oh, that's way too much. Yep. 5 of Swords. Yeah, to help somebody else figure it out. This is not winning at all costs. And again, gatekeeping people, keeping people out of the sanctity of success and prosperity. Nah, we not on that. That's not being true to who you are, or to, in no way, shape, and form is that an aspect that's outlined in anybody's birth chart. To be a gatekeeper, or to be deceptive, or to try to steer people in the wrong path. That's outlined nowhere. I don't care where your north node is, where your south node is. It could only be a south node, like a south node dwelling for someone to operate in those functions. As a matter of fact, that probably is a key that you must not be answering to your north node and to your destiny if you feel even the rage or the urge to operate in that function. Because what you have to offer, it's like it's a lane of its own. However far along that road stretches, it could be from here to just throughout your city and state, or clear across country, or wrap all around the globe. Either way, it's your lane and nobody's in it. So you should never have to feel like you gotta hoard success to yourself, or feel eager or anxious for how anybody else may be catching up or stealing your shine, because that's not possible when you're doing what you're supposed to do. And also, when you are operating in the vein of your destiny, there's always a new beginning or new terrain to forge into. The Fool here. There's always, with these two, as a matter of fact, there's always an opportunity to be reinvented, to, like to meet the time. Sorry, I'm having a hard time. My throat is being seized right now. To meet the spirit of the times, whatever that expectation or that transition may be, whether it's a product, an idea, a way of doing things. There's always a way to evolve if you're operating in the function and capacity that is destined to you. You'll always be inspired, as a matter of fact. And with the foresight, again, with those antennas clear and ready to conduct, you're always kind of like perched and ready to hear that intel that would be forwarding to the next thing, that would keep you relevant, just still doing what is natural, or what is what is it within the integrity of you. And then that would leave you open to inspire a whole new set of people, like similar to I wish I could think of his name. I know it's Tony something, but I can't think of his last name. I keep hearing Tony Danza. It's not Tony Danza. Tony. It's going to come to me as soon as I'm done all this, because I know his name so well. But just how he's, I'm sure he's off to something else yet again, in his more mature years, that he's evolving yet again somewhere, somehow. And he hasn't lost touch with his roots, or what has given him the platform that he has. But when you are a visionary, it's virtually impossible not to grow and expand. That's what visionaries do. And everybody has the capacity to be a visionary. It's just a matter of where your focus is streamlined. And if it's on you and what you're here to do, the optics are unlimited, I'm sure you do. I'm probably preaching to the choir, but I just gotta say it how I feel it. I would have taken that, but let's get it right. My throat, I might have to take some water. All right, so we got the Queen of Wands. Definitely love that because this is the reproductive energy of power, strength, courage, wisdom. While we at it, might as well throw that in there. That does have the wisdom of her experiences to take that intel and then do something with it, to materialize it through their passions. Hold on, I need some water, sorry y'all. Interesting, I'm talking about communication and the swords and all that, and it's like, shut up. Oh man, but yeah, this is somebody that knows how to bring their visions to life. Internally, but with the Queen of Wands, it's also someone that knows how to absorb vision and inspiration and kind of like put their own brand of magic, their own spin on it, and then spit it back out or deliver it as well to bring some nuance to what they're absorbing or what they connect to, and almost like make it a whole nother organism to some degree, or enhancements for sure. You know, that would be the highest frequency here between the King of Swords and the Queen of Wands. That's cool. Yeah. So it's not just a matter of what comes from within her, it's being able to draw seed outside of self or inspiration outside of self and still deliver, you know? So there's no shortage of creative expression here whatsoever. I love that. All right, let's see, a couple more. Looks like we finally got a nice little, we will have a nice little even pyramid. Haven't done that in a while. And keep it cute on this Saturday. Oh, yay, look at that. The Ace of Cups, there's the overflow, the waterfall of bliss, of satisfaction, of happiness, perhaps even of love, whether it's love for what you do or that, well, it's probably more so that first than anything, because this is flow from the inside out. So loving so much what you do or just who you're cultivated to be, that spills into, that actually waters the seeds that you have planted outside of yourself. And they have no choice but to really grow, blossom, terrain expand, you know, because everything's done from this space of love and the most supreme source of life force fuel. Yeah, that doesn't extinguish creativity and passion. It almost acts as gasoline and ignites it that much more. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Whoa, Temperance, wow. Wow. So not only do you have spiritual ordinance and anointing, let's just call it what it is, because I don't even know what other word to give it. There's like a divine anointing for whatever this path is, whatever. And like I said, remember I said, like, spirit has to align with the one that is in alignment. It's like a contract, a binding contract, that it must uphold its end of the bargain when you uphold yours. And given that that's the expression here it is, the overflow or the anointing, the fuel for the fire of passion, whatever that gets to be. You already had the intel, the spark, the inspiration, the vision. Now you have the passion. This is the fuel, and you also have the support system with the Temperance card. That's literally like that supernatural staff member, like that employee of the employee of eternity. Forget employee of the month. Like this is, or employee of the year even. This is like always having energy that you can count on, like that number. Hopefully you are that guy, in some way, shape, or form, or maybe perhaps that's the give and take, the balance here, because you have been that one, that employee of eternity that source has been able to count on, as I said in the capacity before, to lead the charge of what it looks like to live a spiritual existence in the human expression. You've done that well. You've proven yourself to be a valuable asset to the kingdom, and to the establishment of the kingdom, I should say. And that's why in return you always have the support of the most supreme employees, the angelic realms, as a matter of fact, for whatever it is that you do. It's like the miracles of happenstance that seem to carry you, as I said, in these fool-like moments when you're stepping out on faith to do something that maybe you don't even know is possible, or you have no evidence for, or you don't know exactly, you have no real way of knowing how much success you're going to have, if it's going to sustain you securely and bring stability, but you do it anyway. And then what happens is those angels align with your efforts, and here you are, walking on water, literally, as this angel has one foot in the water and one on land, alchemizing any experience that would come your way to be something that's working for you, for the best of your good, as opposed to anything else. Again, I would like to say also, what should I say? Like, is it, I guess, incited by your mindset to see it that way? Let's not forget that. We started off with very mental, highly mental energies, and then pronounced even in the physical form. So as long as you can see the good of, perceive the good of all, that's what you conceive. And then the universe again impregnates you with even more possibility, and blows your mind beyond your sense or sensation of potential, because you're the conduit by which, supernatural occurrences get to happen. As a matter of fact, without you, there is no kingdom establishment in the earth. Wow. You're the man for the job. That's what I'm hearing, man or woman, but I always like saying the man even when I'm talking about myself. So for all intents and purposes, you are the human for the job. Wow. 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 If that's not confirmation, you allow the establishment to flourish, and so you flourish as a result. It's like receiving a hella bonuses on account of your excellent, what do we call it? Like your excellent performance, job performance, let's call it, to keep it technical, right? This is fantastic. Yeah, it's like that, always a bonus, like one of those companies where there's always an incentive to keep doing what you're doing by way of prosperity, like blissfulness here. Loving to do what you do every day. Love the people that you work with, the people that you serve, the product that you endorse, the customers that you reach, the outreach of the community that the establishment is able to do. You know, the corporate affiliates that you're connected with. It's like everything is amazing. And then you get your holiday bonuses. You got hella vacations off, or you can work from home whenever you like. You have flexibility. Got a company car. You know, you gotta maybe even get a housing stipend, or you have a company credit card. They pay for your cell phone, you know, because you use it for work expenses. You get your Christmas bonus is fat as hell. Your annual bonus is, you know, just as grand, you know, just on account of you just doing the great job that you're doing, being you in the earth. That's amazing. That's what you can look forward to when aligning with your destiny. That's what we're talking about here. A powerful position with unbelievable perks. That's what we're talking about here. Wow. Great benefits and unbelievable perks. Great benefits and fantastic perks. I'm thinking this is somewhere probably going to be on the title page somewhere. So I'm working it out right now, because that's the message. Like that's the exchange for you just doing what you love and being who you've been designed and divine to be. One more, Spirit, don't disappoint me. You can't, not after the sun. Yeah, like you really can't. It's like, and you feel this definitely is the expression of something that is like familiar, and you know, I've heard other readers say, like, or at least one other reader I've heard say, like, a return to your roots, which sometimes this card can be this or that. Sometimes it can be the highest vibration of familiarity, and sometimes it can be like a cycle that you actually don't want to repeat. But this to me is returning to the favor of creation. Yes, that's what this is. When you were a child of Source and you felt well taken care of, you know, when you felt like, this is that nurturing here, you know, the good memories of being a divine being, of being a child of the divine, and how some of those got cut short or tainted, you know, in the shuffle of humanity. But this is like recollecting the blissfulness of it, the security, the sensation, like literally like having the fondest childhood memories, the fondest celestial memories of your childhood, and living in that frequency. So it's not just a matter of it for nostalgia's sake. It's the frequency that becomes like an expression again in your vitality that would add to this cup of fulfillment here, to know that you're taken care of, you're covered, you're secure, you're loved, you're encouraged to be yourself, you're given every back to what I was saying. This is interesting about my North Node, Cancer energy, which I don't think that this is, I don't believe it is, but creating the safe space, the sacred space for a firm foundation where anything is possible, where this is the energy that will cultivate the full energy, where you literally will go, you'll try whatever your spirit guides you to, because you don't have to second guess, oh, will I be supported? Will I be accepted? Will my family understand? Will source guide me, or will I, am I pleasing? Like knowing that you're pleasing to your source, your parents, your home base, and you're also pleasing yourself. Like that satisfaction working both ways for you is invaluable. It only encourages you to keep at it. That's what this Six of Cups energy, and it's balanced at that, because you're adding value to the legacy, like your roots, particularly ancestors, way showers, and guides that kind of paved the way for you to have this experience freely. That's redemption for them, for you to actually walk in it. And then you're setting the scene to project that same possibility, as I said, in true Cancer form for your offspring, where they can feel that same level of sanctity in their spiritual truth, because you've created the safe space for them to do so. Not feeling sheltered, but feeling safe. That's beautiful. I love that. I love that. I'm gonna leave that there. All right. Oh, Queen of Pentacles. Okay, then. That's definitely the, bam. So we had the passion here. Now this is the materialization of this reproductive expression. It's what lends itself to continue to manifest, to bring ideas, again, visions, inventions, passion, spirit. Everything comes to life in the pentacle form. It's what is the 3D expression, is the very last expression, as a matter of fact, but it's in the most supreme sense, because it's the energy of the Queen of Pentacles that knows how to, again, conceive of wealth and also deliver it, produce it, actually to multiply it beyond her what do you call it, her own biology. So it's the one that can now see the promise and potential in other things that are prosperous and lend her seed to that, like the one that will that becomes like a venture capitalist, for instance. And again, this could be by way of actual material, but it could also be in all the other intangible ways we talked about, in a mindset, in a way of being, a way of seeing life, seeing self, encouraging others to be more self-asserted and assured. All of what she's been able to materialize in a form that is actual and practical, where there are receipts for her success. Truly, with the Pentacle energy, now she can be like almost, a bank, like literally be a walking bank of every element of energy, where those that whatever someone needs to achieve in the same regard, They can glean it from her, or achieve in their own regard, I should say. It can be gleaned by way of the experience of the Queen of Pentacles, because more or less she has something actual and practical in her arsenal to point you in the right direction. Even if this is as mystical and magical as gifts and abilities that are intangible, because sometimes pentacles are, there's something still more practical and grounded that she has to offer by way of understanding that for yourself, that unique expression within you, and how you get to exhibit it in a productive and prosperous way. Even understand it, accept it, even before all of that. How about that? Maybe even before all of that, be aware. Yes, self-awareness, that's what this is. Someone that can help others see their potential, see their gifts, see their value, and that being the seed that more or less cultivates creativity in a very specific and individual sense. Because she knows her own. She knows where she is most prosperous, most productive, most magical, even talented, gifted, with high level abilities. She's self-aware and self-assured of that, and that expression to help others to see that for themselves is actually far more priceless than gold or any material measurement. For someone to be encouraged to see their own potential and then blossom out of that is the difference between teaching a man to fish and feeding them fish, or whatever that saying is. You can give a man fish, or you can teach him how to fish. One of those things, you know. She can use her gifts to help others, for sure, for certain, but she can also show others how gifted they are to be able to help themselves. Chef's kiss on that one. All right, woo. But you know what this is? This is that transformative spirit, you know, of helping others completely shift their perspective of themselves, of which clearly there is a need for in the way that I'm speaking of, and that being like the transformative, the shifting, how can I say this, like the change that's needed. This is what that is, like being the change that you wish to see, being an example of it, and that being an inspiration for others to follow suit in their own unique way, to be transformed as well. And for many, it comes from the transformation of your mental space, and again, having those antennas cleansed in such a way, or clear in such a way, that you can see and hear what is necessary intel for your own personal self-awareness, even if it's externally from one to another in a human form, but certainly from Supreme, whatever that gets to be, to know exactly what invitations there are to shift, to evolve, to become, so that the expression of life then gets to be in the way that it was destined to be so. Sometimes it takes that catalyst for change in the physical, many times. I mean, come on, as I'm talking about Tony, what's his name? I can't think of his last name still. But as I'm talking about him, he's been the catalyst for change in probably millions of people's lives, from the books that he's written, the seminars that he has, the businesses that he has built, and so on and so forth, to whatever the hell else he's doing now. I don't know, probably a podcast or something, I'm sure. And that seed of transformation could be all that someone needs, even just, like I said, to be the example that it's possible, could be all that someone needs to shift their perspective of themselves, of their surroundings, of the world that they inhabit, and how they can be inspired by that world, and also make an impact or an impression upon it. All of that could shift someone's identity from almost being in a Walking Dead, just going about life, waiting to, to expire, to actually thriving in an existence that perhaps you before that encounter didn't even know was possible. This is transformation. This is not demise, unless that's the choice, which we all have. Back to that Ace of Swords, that point of decision and vision, to see one life one way or another and then be the expression of it. But this is being intentional to nurture the seed within self that blossoms as that supreme expression of source, and then planting that seed as many times over as you possibly can, internally to reinvent and externally otherwise, into promising soils and planters of sorts, to see that transformation doesn't just get to stay with you, but that it may even be something that is universally spread, a universal sweep of sorts. That's some real dedication here with the Queen of Pentacles. Someone that, is responsible. There's definitely like the energy of, to whom much is given, much is required. And it's just somebody that sees, that takes that to heart, doesn't wear it like, like an admonishment, like, oh, I got a lot, so I better do a lot, an obligation, but that wears it like a badge of honor. Like, I have a lot to offer, and I get to be an offering to creation, and also show other creators how much they also have to offer as well. That's powerful. That's what creates true change and lasting change in the earth, in the universe, far and wide, and wherever else life exists. Perhaps yet to be discovered. Who knows? All right, so I'm gonna leave that there. That was a pretty deep message for a Saturday. I was expecting something more casual and flirty, but that was certainly very empowering, I would say, to say the least. To keep doing whatever it is you're doing, no matter how small you may think it impacts. You'd be surprised like how great of a reach it actually does make, and how great of an impression it actually does make. And the inspiration perhaps is also unlimited, and much needed. I mean, hell, can we ever be too inspired, really and truly? If that were the case, platforms such as YouTube wouldn't exist, where people are just scrolling for a reason to keep on going. So hopefully you're an expression of the highest frequency of why they absolutely must. All right, so anyway, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy your St. Patty's Day. Be safe, be sound, and don't sit your drinks down. And until next time, as always, I'll leave you with peace.